All right, you guys, so today we're going to talk about ratios and how you write them. So what is a ratio? So a ratio, I'm going to start by writing this word out, ratio, and then we're going to write how it's how it's said. It's ray-she-o. I want you to say it out loud a few times so that you get the feel of it. Ratio, ratio. I know it's got a T-I-O, but it's like, irrational, the sh sound of the T-I-O. Ratio. Okay? So what is a ratio? A ratio is a comparison of two quantities. Now, when I say a word like quantities, that means numbers. So quantities are numbers. Okay? Now, when you write a ratio, it can be a part to part to whole to part, etc. So if I were to draw, I'm going to draw some things and you're going to laugh at it, but I'm going to draw it anyway, okay? Got kitty, 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 and mousy, mousy, okay? So I've got kitty, 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 and a mousy, and a mousy. All right, so when I'm writing a ratio, I can write the ratio of cats to mouses. Cats to mice, not mouses, Miss Miller. Okay, so the ratio of cats to mouse can be written three different ways. Way one, I can write there are 3 cats to 2 mice. All right, that's one way to write it. Okay. Another way to write it is I could write there are 3 cats to 2 mice with a colon in between. Okay, and then I just assume that there's the word cats and mice in there because I told you that I was doing cats and mice. 3 cats to 2 mice. Okay. And then another way that you can write a ratio is you can write it as a fraction. So I could write there are 3 cats for every 2 mice, where this is cats and this is mice. So these are 3 different ways to write the ratio of cats to mice. Okay. I could also use my cats and mice diagram to write the ratio of mice to total. So ratio of mice to total. Again, all we're doing is comparing the numbers. So I know that I've got mice, and that's the first word that I'm talking about. So I know that I need to know the number of mice. There are 2 mice, so I'm going to write 2 mice to, how many total animals are there? Well, 5 total animals. Okay. Notice I keep it in the same order as the original. In the green example, I did cats first, always, and mice second, always. In the second example, I'm putting mice first and the total second. So I could write 2 colon 5. So again, I've got 2 mice to 5 total. And then my final example is 2 mice over 5 total. Mice total. Okay. So again, these are 3 different ways to write ratios. And what numbers you use depend on what the ratio tells you to write. So at the top, this green ratio told me to use cats and mice, and the blue ratio told me to use mice and total. Okay, so you pay attention to what it's asking you, and you just write it as a phrase of a ratio, or a comparison of 2 quantities. Okay, so we're going to do an example with some change. Okay, so I've drawn a diagram on the left with pennies, quarters, and dimes. I know that you don't necessarily have different colored pens or pencils, but you have the ability to mark them. You can mark them with the letters that each of these numbers start with. You can mark them some other way, but make sure that you have a legend. So I know that all the orange ones are pennies. I know all the blue circles are quarters, and all the X's are dimes.